Well, today did not go as planned for the Toronto Blue Jays. They go out there after that big 7-3 win yesterday against San Francisco, looking for the mini 2-game sweep there this afternoon. Not a whole lot of offense. You didn't come up in the big situations, and you lost 4-3 to the San Francisco Giants. And now, again, 3 wins in the last 14 games for the Toronto Blue Jays. Not very good. They have not been very good. They have not been able to hit today. Again, another problem. 3 runs on 5 hits. If I'm not mistaken, 2 of those were in the first inning. And guys, we talk about hitting with runners in scoring position. We talk about the Blue Jays were one of the better teams in the league at doing that earlier on in the year. But today, they were 1 of 11 with runners in scoring position. That's awful. Now, it started out pretty damn solid for the Toronto Blue Jays. They had Brandon Drury on base with a leadoff single. Then Vladdy walks. Then a couple batters later with 2 out and runners at second and third. First and second, with 2 away. Freddie Galvis doubles to right field. Brandon Drury comes in to score. Guerrero up to third. You got second and third, 2 out. You can't cash it anymore, but you still have the 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Pablo Sandoval, who has had great numbers, not only against the Blue Jays this year, but against Edwin Jackson, the Blue Jays starter in today's ball game, and he gets an RBI double to dead center field. It's a 1-1 game, just like that. And then we go to the bottom of the second inning, and where is he here? Aramis Garcia hits a solo shot to center field on the very first pitch. It's a 2-run shot. I think I said solo shot. It's a 2-run shot. Kevin Pillar comes home on the play, and it is a 3-1 Jays deficit now as Edwin Jackson giving up 3 runs in the first 2 innings. Not a very good start to his Blue Jays career, but again, it does get a little bit better for him as the game goes along. Top of the third, really weird inning it was for the Toronto Blue Jays in that third inning. Brandon Drury walks on 4 pitches to start the inning. Then, on a wild pitch, Drury moves up to second base. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. lines out to Kevin Pillar. He rips it. I mean, again, everything off of Vladdy's bat right now is getting torched. Maybe not all the time. I think he had one where he popped it up and it was kind of in no man's land, but it hung up there a while and they made the catch. But other than that, Vladdy has been dynamite, hitting balls hard. I think he had a little dribble down the third base line, but that also came as an RBI. We'll get into that in a second. And then he lines out. Brandon Drury moves up to third base. Then Rowdy Tellez grounds out. And they were like, now there's 2 out. Again, a guy at third base. You got to find a way to cash him in. Well, the Blue Jays get help from the pitcher not being able to throw, I wouldn't even say strikes, pitches even close to the catcher. He throws another wild pitch. Brandon Drury comes in to score. And the funny thing is about this play, if Anderson actually caught the ball on, he threw the wild pitch, he comes home to try and get Drury out at home, and he drops it. He would have had him out. Drury ends up being safe, and it's a 3-2 ball game. It's a 1-run game. It's only the third inning. It's not over yet. And where are we here? Let's go to the the 5th inning? In the 5th inning. So, bottom line is Brandon Drury, again, an error by Evan Longoria at third base. You don't hear that too often, but he ends up getting to first. And then on a pickoff attempt by Anderson, Drury goes all the way around to third base. Again, it's the mistakes from the Giants that really the Jays were capitalizing on there in the early goings in the ball game. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like I said, hit that little chopper to third base, but it was slow enough that Drury was able to come home and score, and we're tied at 3. The Jays are feeling good here. And then, where is it here? In the bottom of the 5th, great job by Edwin Jackson coming out there after the Jays just tied the ball game and throwing up a 0 going 1-2-3, striking out Duggar, getting Longoria to ground in, getting Sandoval to ground out. Then in the next half inning, they bring in the ultimate closer back in the day, but he's got signed to a massive deal, Mark Melancon, and Grichuk hits an infield single that literally just stays on the baseline and does not move. What a job there, and it's a leadoff single for the Blue Jays. Then Freddie Galvis singles to center field, Grichuk all the way up to third. We got runners at first and third here, nobody out, looking to take the lead. Hernandez strikes out. Then McKinney grounds to first base. Sandoval touches first and throws home. Literally the worst case scenario. And they get Grichuk out at the plate to end the inning. You don't score a run when you have runners on the corners. Nobody out. And if you guys have watched my videos in years past, even last year, you'll know that I say at times, you usually get that one inning in a ball game where you're looking to break it out or just kind of like unload and get the lead. And if you do not capitalize, you usually, I mean, it does happen, sometimes it pops up again, but for the most part, it doesn't happen again. That was your opportunity. The Jays squandered that opportunity, and then in the next half inning, they bring in Ryan Tepera, and Brendan Crawford is a solo shot. It's a 4-3 lead for the Giants now, and the Jays don't get any offense the rest of the way. They get a one-out double, I think it is from Rowdy Tellez in the 8th inning, is it? Yeah, in the 8th inning. Can't do anything with that. Again, with runners in scoring position, the Jays were 1 of 11, and in that, I think was it the 6th inning, I think they had that opportunity? Yeah, the 6th inning, they don't capitalize. We've talked about it over and over, guys. Good starting pitching, good defense, and timely hitting. Look, Edwin Jackson, he started off the game pretty rough, right? He had a tough time there early on, had 3 runs in the first 2 innings, but you look at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning, he didn't do that bad. I think he gave up a leadoff double in 2 of those 3 innings that I just mentioned, but didn't allow a run, so it doesn't really matter. His line ends up as so. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. If I'm not mistaken, that one unearned run was the Billy McKinney error in right field where he just kind of dropped it. I don't know if that led to a run or whatnot, but that's the only one that was the only error in the ball game, so that makes sense how that came around to score. Again, we talked about it. Good pitching, while Ryan Tepera gave up the solo shot. And Jackson wasn't the greatest, so you didn't get the greatest pitching out there. Good defense. An error led to a run. That's a problem. Timely hitting. The Jays were 1 of 11 with runners in scoring position. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3, guys. If you guys are not huge baseball fans, and you guys don't watch baseball on a night-to-night basis, and you're good, and you plan on starting watching, when you're watching a ball game, think of those 3 things. And if you're seeing those 3 things happen for your team, more often than not, you're going to win almost all the games you're watching if that's the case. Today, the Jays didn't really get any of them, and they only lost 4-3. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr., because we always love talking about him, he was 0 for 3 in the game, but guys, let's breathe for a second. We talked about the line drive he had out to Kevin Pillar. He got an RBI ground out, so he did have an RBI in the game. He also walked in the first inning as well. So he had a walk, an RBI, and then a line out. So 2 of his 3 outs were productive. Well, I wouldn't say productive for the line. I think the line out actually, Brandon Drury moved up to third base. Did he? And then the wild pitch, he came around to score. So again, 2 of his outs were meaningful outs, if you want to say that, right? I mean, I'm trying to grab at straws here, but again, he's making an impact. And defensively, he's looked solid. So yes, he went 0 for 3 and didn't get a hit, and he, whatever and whatnot. He got an RBI, he got a walk, he helped this team get a couple runs. He moved a guy over, he got an RBI, he walked, which ended up moving, who came? Brandon Drury over to second in that first inning, which led to the Freddie Galvis double to score the run. So it all comes around in full circle, guys, but if there's any positive we take from the game today, it was that Brandon Drury went 1 for 3. He had a walk in the game. He scored all 3 runs, did Brandon Drury. Rowdy Tellez 1 for 4, like we talked about the double that he had. Grichuk was 1 for 3. Freddie Galvis is swinging the bat better as of late. He was 2 for 4 with the RBI in the first inning, but other than that, the Jays got really nothing from the bottom half of the lineup. Hernandez was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. This game reminded me of Teoscar of last year, swinging at curveballs that aren't close, swinging at high fastballs, and swinging basically a lot of swing and miss. He was 0 for 4 in the game today. Luke Maley was 0 for 3, and every pinch hitter that you had come in didn't get on base. So, and actually, bullpen-wise, Tim Mayza went a clean inning, gave up a hit, a couple strikeouts. Again, we continue to talk about Tim Mayza and how he's done an amazing job since his rough start to the year. His ERA has dropped down to 3.26. And Daniel Hudson, a clean inning, no hits, 1 walk, and nothing else doing there. ERA of 3.48 for Daniel Hudson. Now, next up for the Blue Jays is they head to Chicago to take on the White Sox. White Sox were just in Toronto this past weekend for Mother's Day weekend, and they took 2 of 3 from us at Rogers Center. Marcus Stroman, Dylan Covey is the pitching matchup in Game 1 there tomorrow night. 8:10 first pitch there in Chicago. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Daniel Hudson's probably going to be an opener again against Ivan Nova. Again. That's the Game 2 matchup. Aaron Sanchez versus Lucas Giolito. Again. We've gotten used to seeing this matchup a little bit. And then in the finale, I think they're going to see Trent Thornton versus Reynaldo Lopez. That's the pitching matchup there in the 4-game set this weekend, starting tomorrow, against the White Sox in Chicago. Now, Jays fans, we haven't really talked about anything positive other than Vladdy doing a couple good things in the game. Let's get to some positive things. And you know where I'm going to head to that? The minor leagues. Because when you lose, you got to find positives to take. We took some positives from the actual Jays team. Now let's go to the actual minor league ball club. I'm going to go all the way down to Lansing and start there and move up. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video because there was a few guys I wanted to talk about. Josh Winkowski. If you don't know the name, I wouldn't blame you. Guy down in Lansing in A-ball. Again, he's a 1998. He turns 21, I think it is, in June. So, again, not an older guy down there, but again, look at his numbers here. He went 7, this is on, I don't know what day this is actually, Monday. So this is Monday, a couple days ago. He went 7 innings, he went 5 hits, 1 run, walked 1, and struck out 4. 7 innings of 5-hit ball, only allowed the 1 run. His ERA down there in Lansing is only 1.78. Keep an eye on him. Is he a guy that gets called up to Dunedin very soon? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All right, so that's really it for the Lansing Lugnuts. Let's move up to the Dunedin Blue Jays and Joey Murray. Oh no, I lost him. Hold on. I had it all set up here, guys. There it is. Joey Murray, a guy that started the year in Lansing, put up some pretty good numbers. I think he's in 1996, so he's a 22-year-old like myself. Again, I think this might be his first start there in Dunedin. Again, he went 4 1/3. He gave up 6 hits and walked 3, so he wasn't the greatest. He struck out 5, however, and only had the 1 run. Again, if that's his first start, his ERA is now 0.96. Good job there. He's only played the 1 game there in Dunedin, and it was a pretty good start. So you want to see some progression? There you go. I think I'm not sure if Joey Murray and Winkowski are both draft picks of the Blue Jays last year. I'm pretty sure Winkowski was, but I'm not so sure about Joey Murray. But again, some positive things to take from. Now, quickly, we're going to run through the, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, because they had a really good last 3 games. And again, all I'm going to talk about is pitching here, because offensively, you didn't see a whole lot. I mean, I think Kevin Smith had a pretty good game in here somewhere for the for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. But my boy Yenzi Diaz has had a kind of a rough start to his year. But he went, I think this was Monday. No, this was Tuesday. So they played a doubleheader on Tuesday, and then they played today. But Yenzi Diaz went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits. No runs, he walked 4, and he struck out 2. His ERA drops to 3.75, but 7 great shutout innings there, and awesome job there. Now, in the second night of the doubleheader, they lost 8-1, but Nate Pearson was on the mound and went 2 shutout innings. I talked about that in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Didn't allow a hit, didn't allow a run, struck out 3 guys in his 2 innings. Attaboy Nate Pearson has had a really good start to his all over the place with the teams here. New Hampshire Fisher Cats career, I think he's got like 7 scoreless innings, I think, so far in his New Hampshire Fisher Cats career, so it's good to see for Nate Pearson that he's doing really well. And then in the finale of that series today, Patrick Murphy, a guy that we might have seen a little bit of him in spring training. He was in Dunedin last year. I think he's in what year is he? 90. Hold on, let me get him up here. Nonetheless, he's one of the younger pitchers on the Jays. I think he might be like 22 or 23 years old. But remember, this is Double-A, and he went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, gave up 1 home run, which was the 1 run, and struck out 10. His ERA there in Double-A is 3.35, and he's had quite a few starts. You got to keep an eye on maybe a guy that could be in Buffalo very soon. I don't know. And then the final I'm going to talk about, again, it's another pitcher, of course. I've mentioned him a few times this year. Andrew Sopko, the acquired piece in the Russell Martin deal to the Dodgers. He had a really good time there in in Double-A New Hampshire. Really good start to his year, so we got to call it to Triple-A, and his first start was yesterday, and he went 5 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, neither were earned. He walked 2 and struck out 4 guys. So a pretty good start to his Triple-A Buffalo debut. Again, what is he going to be? I don't know. Is he going to be anything? I don't know. But to see a guy get promoted from Double-A to Triple-A, and then in his first Triple-A ball game, he did pretty good. You got to take positives, Jays fans, and that's what I'm doing right there. And by the way, I think in one of those New Hampshire Fisher Cats games, Kevin Smith, one of the top prospects for the Jays, went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. He's had a really slow start to his year, but great to see him starting to find his bat a little bit there. Great to see for Kevin Smith. All right, so you guys, you know what? That's going to do it for this one. A little bit of a longer one because there was a few prospects that I wanted to talk about. Smack that like button, I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on this game, today's ball game, your thoughts on the prospects that I've mentioned here in the latter half of this video. Your thoughts on this Jays team. What are your thoughts on Vladdy Jr. there today? Also, his last 4 games have been really good. What are your thoughts on him there? You think he's really starting to break out? I personally believe so. That's why I bought his flipping jersey, because I had faith in him. I think we all did, really. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this game, this team, the future, all that crazy stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition tomorrow afternoon. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, guys. Do all that great stuff. And check out Mo Buckets on Twitter, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. He's a great guy. He posts amazing stuff, and the reason I found out about Nate Pearson's 2 scoreless innings about yesterday's ball game, I saw it on his Instagram page, so guys, go check him out. Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. Again, I know I've said it over and over again, but I will say it again. We hope to have him on the podcast very soon. He seems to know his great things about the Blue Jays. He's been talking about them for quite some time now. Love to have him on the podcast. Love to talk Blue Jays with him, and we hope to do it very soon. I'm in communication with the guy with him right now. So we'll kind of see how things go, and hopefully in the next few weeks, or maybe when the Raptors are done and it's kind of just Blue Jays, we can strictly focus on that and have him on the podcast, all right? So there's all that with Blue Jays Wave on Instagram, guys. Go check him out, follow up, all that great stuff on Blue Jays Wave. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, Raptor fans, here we go. Game 1 tonight, Raptors, Bucks, 8:30 tip-off. Just under an hour away from tip-off in Milwaukee. Look, Raptor fans, I'm kind of scared for this series because Milwaukee is an incredible ball club. I don't know what to expect. The Raptors have to have their A game, and if they can come out there and steal home court advantage right away in Game 1, it is huge moving forward. But, like I said, Game 1 is tonight in Milwaukee, 8:30 tip-off, Raps, Bucks, Eastern Conference Finals. And as for the Blue Jays, they head to Chicago to take on the White Sox for a 4-game series for a weekend set, starting tomorrow night, 8:10 first pitch there in Chicago, as Marcus Stroman is on the mound versus Dylan Covey. And for Marcus Stroman, his last outing obviously was against the White Sox and didn't do too bad, but got pulled, and obviously the whole Charlie Montoyo thing that happened. I want to see him go out there and throw a really good outing against these White Sox there tomorrow night. Like I said, 8:10 first pitch there in Chicago. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Really long video. If you guys watch the whole thing, thank you guys very much, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.